What's up everyone, it's Mike Sherrard and welcome to my video podcast series where I interview top realtors and entrepreneurs from around the globe and show you their story from zero to achieving massive success in their industry. Let's get into it. What's up everyone and welcome to the first episode of the From Zero video series. Today we have on an exceptionally special guest that has a sentimental place in my story. This is the man that I made my first phone call to before getting my real estate license. He is the embodiment of going from zero to the #1 and top agent in his space. Not only that, but he is the epitome of demonstrating humility. He's got the sexiest cars, and I cannot wait to share his story of going from zero, losing his house, but ultimately becoming the champion in his area. Welcome to From Zero, and let me introduce you to Mike Marfori. All right, what is up, everybody? We are back on another episode, the first episode of From Zero, and we have a very, very special guest today, all the way from Vancouver. We have Mike Marfori. What's up, brother?
What's going on, Mike? How you doing?
Good, man. So glad to have you. So, as mentioned in the intro, guys, this is a bit of a sentimental episode to me because just a couple years ago when I got started in real estate, the first call I ever made was to this man right here. I saw what he was doing out just west of us in Canada. And as you're going to learn, he has an amazing approach to real estate and has built quite an empire for himself. So this man right here is inspiring beyond belief, and he has gone from zero to the top realtor in his space. And I'm so excited to share that journey with you guys. So Mike, what is up, man? Yes. Why don't you talk a bit about first how you got into real estate, and then let's dive into some of the unique approaches you took to become the top agent.
Absolutely. So my name is Mike Marfori. I'm an agent with an agency called Sutton Premier Realty. I specialize in helping families move into an area. My farm area consists of 15,000 properties. That's combined total. That's including single family homes with townhomes and condos. And I've been doing this for 8 years. You know, I'm very blessed. And how it all got started when age 24, you know, coming into the car business for doing it for 6 years, I was very complacent and thought of doing something totally different, which was real estate. You know, I had a passion since 19, owning properties, bought my first place when I was 19 and then sold it when I was 23 and love, you know, the process of helping and actually purchasing a property. So that's kind of where it all got started for me. And, you know, Mike, like when you first started, you know, it's that quantum leap, right? Like, you know, you were very complacent and you were thinking, hey, you know what? Let's try something different, you know, and this was real estate for me. So, you know, to kind of go back 8 years ago, I didn't have, of course, what I have right now, which was the support staff, the team, you know, the fancy cars, you know, the houses. You know, I started from mom and dad's place, right, Mike?
Yeah.
You know? We can all probably attest to that. I actually, long story short, I got my real estate license thinking, you know, like any other real estate agent, that this is going to be the best career. You're going to be doing great. You're going to be rich, you know, make millions of dollars. But what they don't tell you in real estate is how much money you're going to be spending. Wow. Right. And I ended up, you know, pulling out lots of loans just to make ends meet. And I actually, in the process of that, lost my house at the time, lost my car, and was forced to move back with mom and dad. So it's kind of a humbling experience. And my first year in real estate, I took the thought of, to be the best, you got to be with the best. So I was a big believer in mentorship, right, Mike?
Yeah.
And I knew, you know, you got to surround yourself with like-minded people, but more importantly, people that have seen success, have touched success, and to be a part of it. So that was my first step in getting the process in real estate.
Definitely, man. It's inspiring, especially to hear some of the stuff that people don't see. You know, people see now the
Mhm.
toys that you have, which we'll get into later, but they
Yeah,
they see the end result and don't understand the sacrifices. They would never believe you if you said you lost your house 8 years ago. They would never believe, a man of your stature now had to take out loans in order to get started. And that's
yeah,
why the failure rate is so high in this industry, because people get in and they don't understand that you don't just get in and start listing $1 million homes and you're banging out $20,000 commission checks. It's a grind and it's a heavy upfront investment to build
sure.
yourself up, man. So that's
Yeah,
amazing. And I love to hear that. One thing I'd like you to touch on too is when we had the first phone call and when you sort of gave me advice on getting started and
yeah,
talking about how you get started, you said something that really resonated with me. It's every time that you did sort of a certain amount of transactions, you bought a bus bench and then you did another.
right,
And then, you took a very, systematic approach to allocating your money that you were making, not for pleasure, but for reinvesting back into your business to grow it. So why don't you touch on how people can sort of embrace delayed gratification to
right.
reinvest properly and build their business up?
Certainly. So when I first got in this business, I had to think with my marketing cap and not my, sales cap. So I put my sales cap down and thought of a way how to be different than your typical traditional realtor that's been doing this for 10, 15, 20 years. And me being the first year in the business, I said, I'm actually going to take not 15%, but double that to 30% into just putting it back in the business. And a lot of the times when you go into your office and you say, I'm thinking about purchasing a bus bench, well, you're going to get the same answer from 99.9% of realtors, and that's a waste of money.
Yeah.
That is a waste of money, And to me, I looked at it as an opportunity. No one was doing it at the time. And in my farm area, I mean, people think the only people that are going to see that are the people that are going to take transit, right? Which is absolutely not correct. I mean, everybody takes the same route to go to work. Everybody drives a vehicle, or perhaps, is a passenger in a vehicle to go, different places. So I utilized it as I'm going to have this as a great brand recognition. That's everything. I wanted to be the Michael Jordan of real estate in my farm area, to be that local expert and become top of mind. So I said to myself, when I make a sale, I'm going to put that money aside and allocate that into a marketing budget. So I did that. I strategically picked up 1 to 2 benches every so often, every 2 weeks, and then it went gangbusters to the point for my first year, I bought up to 30 bus benches. And people were thinking, man, you are going to go broke quick. But, yeah, there is that quantum leap, and you don't really know how are you going to pay for that. It really, really does one thing. It pushes you. So that uncomfortability made me comfortable in a way that it helped me push where it needed me to become successful, right? So now when I look at my marketing budget, um, if I told you, Mike, how much my marketing budget, you would probably not believe me.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. It's inspiring to know that, you have to take those uncomfortable approaches. And I
Yeah,
kind of have this thing where I tell myself that I practice the approach of forced discomfort, where I constantly put myself in uncomfortable positions, because then you're forced to work. You can't sit back and become complacent. There's no way, because
yeah,
if you don't go work, if you don't go grind, you're going to start losing things like homes and cars and this and that. So having that sort of edge there is impactful. So that's almost a perfect segue into the next question, where you mentioned you wanted to be the
yeah,
Michael Jordan of real estate. And I know that one of the things you mentioned on that first call we had back in 2016 was, you said, I have almost celebritized myself on my farm, where out and about, people recognize me. And through that branding, there's nothing more powerful than attraction marketing instead of you
Yes.
having to just force feed people stuff, because then it's that organic conversation where the barrier and the ice is almost broken from day one. So why don't you kind of dive into almost how you celebritize yourself through that marketing, but also what branding and doing that has done for your business and how you carry it out?
For sure. So there's no substitute for hard work. By the end of the day, it's all sweat equity in the beginning. You're working absolutely harder than any other agent in terms of either door knocking, for sale by owners, expired listings, your sphere of influence, referrals. You're really trying to, capture as much business as possible in the very beginning and spreading out the word that you are the agent of choice. So that's what I was doing, and I'm still doing that. But now I'm working a lot smarter, where people are now calling me and understanding Mike is the go-to guy in the North Surrey area in Vancouver. Whether it's bus benches, you got to follow it up with flyers. You got to pepper them with notepads. You got to pepper them with just listed, just sold, and in door knock. That's basically what you need to do in order for you to achieve your goal. For me, last year, I was very fortunate to be blessed the number one agent, number one team in the whole of the Fraser Valley. We did over 230 deals. We helped 230 homes and 230 families. We did over, just last month, Mike, we achieved in a very slow market, we sold 25 homes and sold over $19 million of real estate. So
Wow.
I am very proud of my team, but at the same time, not happy. We always have to strive for greatness, right?
Certainly.
But having said that, what you need to do is really think of working smarter, not harder, because time is the most expensive currency. And I truly believe that it's not sweat equity. It's the most expensive currency is time. So how you utilize your time that's going to be your success right there. And one of the main things that I do, Mike, is I actually walk the mall, my local mall here, shopping mall, and I just grab a Starbucks coffee and I walk the mall. And it's funny enough how much business I draw from that, because people know who I am. You're just reintroducing yourself.
That's amazing, man. It's powerful to see what all those efforts can do. And the fact that, this kind of leads into a different question that I wasn't expecting, but, making yourself almost, I don't want to say recession proof, but market proof, because, you guys just came through a very hot market. We are currently going through we just looked at the market stats, and it's the biggest recession we've had market wise in the history of them recording stats. So,
that's right.
You have to approach your business in the way that you can't just ride the wave. You need to understand that there's going to become a time where you're going to have to be lean. So sort of what advice would you give to agents who, one, are looking to sort of build their marketing in the sense, do they start with events, then go with physical, then door knock, or do they go with mailers? What is your approach to building that marketing if they were to allocate funds strategically? And then how does that translate into sort of making yourself market proof so that you're ready to take on anything that it throws at you?
So one of the main things that I would tell any brand new real estate agent, when I say brand new, this is less than 3 years. In a market as it was 1 to 2 years ago, we can sit back and we can really, we don't really necessarily have to do, prospecting, but now in today's market, you're going to need to do things that you would never do before, such as, the client appreciation events. I'm a big believer in giving back to the clients that have been faithful to my business. And I actually do it quarterly, where we do movie nights, we do community events, scholarship events, giving back to the community. But one thing that I would let all the brand new agents is to spend absolutely zero. There's ways where you can tap into your social media, whether it's your Instagram, Facebook, and just giving an incentive why to use your services. Building that value, because everybody, when you look at a real estate agent and you're not in the real estate business, you feel that we are all the same. Okay. Yes, we are here to, negotiate in your client's best interest. We're here to give a great deal and give this an amazing curated experience. Everybody says that.
Yeah.
Okay. But one thing that they don't do is they don't give that value to promote why. Why is it important? Because buyers and sellers, they have more options than ever before, Mike.
Agreed.
So out of the 20,000 agents in BC, why are they going to use your service? Is it because you're a nice guy? I mean, I know a lot of nice people, but how are you going to be different? So give an incentive. Say, listen, use my services. You get this great value. I'm going to fly you a trip anywhere in the world. I mean, you can say something so extravagant to use your services, but build that value, make that curated experience, and make it resonate with your client, right? And that's what I bring to the table is a curated experience where it will leave them saying, I want to use this service again. And I think asking for the referrals, it's all about the timing when you ask the referrals, right? For me, right before I present an offer to a seller, that's when I actually ask them, how happy are you with my services by the end of the day? From 1 being not so great, 10 being excellent, where would you rate me? And if it's a 10, well, great. Who do you know that I can help with your real estate needs, right? But it's truly about all of asking the referrals and the timing.
100%, man. And, I think that's going to resonate with a lot of people, especially here in the Alberta market and some of the other spots where, a lot of people ask me how to do well. How do you double a business like I did this year in a recession, if you will? And it comes down to exactly just that. It's understanding that quality is everything. Understanding that, your value proposition is actually putting more money into marketing. It is providing better communication. It is finding ways to outservice other agents because, we don't have 20,000, but there's 5,500. And because so many people lost their jobs a few years ago, everyone decided to become a realtor. And, you need to find your value proposition there and your competitive advantage. And then going back to the referrals, getting those testimonials, sharing them, recording a video with your clients, showing that, evoking emotion that these people are so happy. And I know that's been a big thing that has helped me grow even in a short period of time is the fact that, when you can share these excited buyers and sellers, there's nothing that connects more with someone who's looking to buy or sell another time. So that's amazing, man. And
yes,
it's
I agree.
Fantastic. And I think people can already tell just from hearing you how humble you are, which is amazing since, you've achieved so much. But
Thank you.
One thing I love is, we'll talk about the cars, you've achieved success, but you still are the most approachable, humble person, which I think is a piece of credit to why you're doing so well, despite all your successes. It hasn't got to your head. So why don't we talk about the cars for a bit? Because that's a part of your image, that's a part of your sphere. And I think that has helped you in many ways. So what kind of cars do you own and what does that mean to your business and your image?
Sure. So I've always had a passion for cars all my life. And growing up, even age 5, I've always told myself one day I'm going to own a Ferrari or Lamborghini, and very fortunate and blessed to have both. So I do own a Ferrari 458 Italia. It's a 2011. Just picked that up about a year ago. Very, very, very low mileage. And I like to drive that occasionally, twice a week. And in the Lamborghini Aventador, which is a 2015 Roadster. So it is a convertible V12 beast. I love the Lamborghini. Something very special and dear to me. But yeah, this is just a passion I have, guys. I mean, not everybody here that's listening to this podcast, this video cast is not going to be at the same boat. You may love boats, you may love planes, you may have a different kind of hobby, but this is my hobby. I love cars and I love driving it. And this is really my stress reliever. I did it for me because it enables me to just relax. This is my time. This is my me time, my spa treatment time, kind of, if you will. Everybody has their own downtime, whether it's the family, whether it's traveling, but this is my me time, is driving that supercar and just getting away from it all and just cruising and taking in the beautiful Vancouver weather.
That was almost a textbook answer that I really wanted to hear. A lot of people get this misconception that because you're wealthy or you're getting some successes that you buy these toys, and they might see you and say, wow, he bought a Lamborghini, he's trying to flaunt it, he's trying to do this, or there's all these stigmas around supercar owners. But what people don't understand, and similar to myself, is the fact that these are childhood dreams, and it means much more than the optics behind it and the perception that the average person has. This is not only a symbolization of achievement for us, but it's for car enthusiasts. It's not about the image, it's about the experience and how it makes us feel. So you saying that it's almost your spa time resonates with me, and I'm sure any car enthusiast who's watching this, because it's so much more different than people think, and just having that relaxation time, but leveraging an authentic passion, because there are some people that get the money and then they get the cars because they want to show it off. But it's powerful when there's someone that has it and leverages it as a true passion that's honest to themselves. So I think that's powerful, man. And the Lambros, this is
Lambros,
this is your squad. So
okay,
what are the Lambros? But what does that community mean to you? Because I know, it's much deeper than a bunch of guys who own the same car. It goes layers below that in terms of surrounding yourself with these people and, building this core community. So what are the Lambros briefly, but, what does this community of car owners impact your life?
So Lambros started about 3 years ago. For the Vancouver Lambros, I should say. And Lambros basically means brotherhood or womanhood. I mean, there's all different kinds of, drivers out there and that own Lamborghinis, but it's basically a club of Lamborghini people that have the same passions. And these are all very, like the top 1% of every career owner. I mean, these guys are business entrepreneurs. These guys are doctors. These guys are, you name it, they're in it. And why I got the Lamborghini is because of my passion for Lamborghinis. I love the Lamborghinis, and what really they reflect and represent is they don't care. This is me. You take it or leave it. And I love that. I embrace that culture. And these are just like-minded people that want to have a great time. We travel all parts around the world with our Lamborghinis and drive it. And it's just a great community. And what it means to me, it means just basically a second family that you can come to and share the same passion. More importantly, business as well. I've got so much business from owning such a great vehicle, the Lamborghini, and it's opened doors where doors would never ever open. And that's kind of the main reason why I got it. It's because they have all the same passions, but more importantly, who you are friends with, who you're in touch with. And I mean, when you look at your sphere of influence, when you look at your friends, it's a big reflection of who you truly are, right? So that's what the Lambros mean to me.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. Because one thing that I preach to any new agent, like you alluded to, is finding that passion and leveraging it. Because for business, there's no better organic acquisition than tapping into a community that shares that common passion, whether it be cars, watches, hair, whatever it might be. By surrounding yourself with those people, you're able to have those organic conversations where it doesn't matter if someone's worth $10,000, $10 million, or $1 million. You all treat each other with that level of respect because you're able to communicate about a common passion that you have. It doesn't matter your income. It just matters that you guys have the same desire for this item. And, it speaks volumes to what you're doing, because when you do inch into that bracket, your sphere becomes a whole different animal, and it does open doors in ways that people can never imagine. So I think it's important for people to understand, using your passions, but also what that can do for your business is huge.
Yes. Great.
That's amazing, man. So here's a question. Now, the biggest advice for new agents is something that I'd like to tap into, because you've done it all. You've come from nothing. You've lost things along the way.
Yep.
You've gone through many obstacles, but you've built a team that is sustainable, and I know you're only going to continue to grow. So for new agents listening who are either wanting to start and hit it off strong, or are eventually going to want to grow a team, when is the right time to grow a team? What would you say to these young folks that are looking to follow, the footsteps that you've created?
Sure. So let's touch base on the number one question, which is what to do when you're a brand new agent. What would I recommend is mentorship.
Yeah.
That's very, very important. Surround yourself with someone that's very, very successful. If I knew the first 6 months of real estate, I wasn't even able to sell one home. And mainly due to the fact of me being ignorant and having a lot of ego in the very beginning of my real estate career. And you really need to just humble yourself in a way that you're coming from nothing. You need to learn everything. That is going to be the quickest way to do that is surround yourself with a like-minded person that you can look up to and create that mentorship. So, mentorship is everything. Having a mentor in real estate, even in life, always have that life coach or anything that you do, whether if you want to go to the gym, get bigger, stronger, you have that personal trainer. It's no difference than that. So my advice to a brand new agent is surround yourself and get mentorship right away with a mentor in real estate. Second, when is the perfect time to get a team and build a team? So number one is I've been 3 years in the business. My first 3 years of business, my first year I did 12 homes, which was absolutely nothing. The second year I was able to do 24. In the third year I was doing 36. And then the fourth year I was able to sell 65 homes, all of which on the fourth year, that's when I said to myself, I can't do this anymore. I need help. And I hired an assistant. That's the first step because your admin is everything. Whether you're in a listing appointment and you can't make it to the phone, you really want to call forward it to your assistant and have a professional, you want a professional business. When you call a doctor, you're not going to get the doctor, right, Mike?
Yeah, exactly.
You probably get the receptionist, right?
Yeah.
So it's no difference than that. You got to take it like a business. Secondly, after hiring an assistant, the fifth year I was able to sell 163 homes.
Wow.
So I would jump from 64 to 163, and it was just a minor tweak because the blueprint's the same, but I was able to concentrate on the things that needed to be done, which was listings. And I was able to really hone in and focus on what I needed to do, which is just help sellers sell. And that's when I hired a buyer's agent. So first, get the admin staff. Assistant is huge to do your paperwork. And secondly, after that, you get the buyer's agent.
Certainly, man. And, I think it's important to note that, you didn't say after 3 years you should do this. It was after 3 years you were self-aware enough to know that you needed help. It could take someone 11 years, it could take someone 2 years, but it's just having the awareness to know that, you've reached your tipping point where you could scale, but it's just no longer possible with the hours in the day.
Truly.
Right.
And you know what the best thing about this business, Mike? Whoever's listening, there's no right and wrong way.
Agreed.
Of doing your business. I mean, selling 20 homes, 30, 40, 50, 100, doesn't matter how many homes you sell. There's no right and wrong way. It's really, by the end of the day, are you happy? Having that balanced lifestyle. And that's really, really important, is having that balanced lifestyle, right? Balanced lifestyle meaning family, your health is wealth, and financially, you're healthy in that sense as well. That's certainly a very, very important aspect.
Definitely, man. That goes right into the next thing that I had on my mind is, work-life balance. I know that you've got an amazing girlfriend. You've got your family, and I see you do trips now and then. So
Yes.
what does it mean to achieve work-life balance? And, kind of going back to what you said earlier, is working smarter, not harder. How does that start impacting your business when you can start to take that mental break and come back fresh? It's something that many people can't afford to do in the first couple of years, but once you can get that systematic approach and free yourself up, how does that start making a difference?
Well, it's huge. I mean, making all this money is great, but it doesn't make you any happier.
Yeah.
Pamela, my girlfriend, she's been more than understanding of our business and what I do, because as you know, Mike, it's endless nights.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're working at least 15 hours, 16 hours, 12 hours. I mean, it's crazy long hours, and it's still, as soon as we get home at 10 p.m., we're still firing off DocuSign. We're still getting signatures. We're still conference calls, so having that, you know, that really, really understandable girlfriend or boyfriend, I mean, that's huge. That's everything, so having that and having that family is really pertinent in making a successful business.
Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta really take care of that. And I'm a big believer in health as well, right? Just last 2 years ago, I watched what I was eating, and I was really taking working out seriously, and I noticed to see a huge, huge reflection of my business grow exponentially because of how I was taking care of my body and my health, and everything else around me was just a domino effect, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man. I think that's another important piece of advice for people to understand, with the significant others, whether it be a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a wife or husband, is understand that, they don't necessarily have to have that same drive as you. They don't necessarily have to be an entrepreneur or work to the same tune as you, but they have to support your vision. And, because there's nothing that's more detrimental than someone that's working against what you're trying to achieve. So as long as the person in your side corner is helping you and understanding your goal and realizing that, you're going to, in order to achieve, a lifetime of happiness for the two of you, you're going to have to go through some tough times and some late nights. So I see that with you, and now you're starting to truly enjoy and reap the rewards that came to fruition from that understanding.
that's right. It's everything, without that, we're not able to do what we do, right? So
Agreed, man. So 2 last things before we wrap up here. First one is, what is your number one book recommendation this year?
Number one book recommendation of the year. So I have an application, and if you're a big believer in apps, which I am, is called Blinkist. Blink-I-S-T, Blinkist. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to read books, and it summarizes all the main key factors and points of each book. So it takes all the meats and potatoes, and it actually formulates all and summarizes the book all together. So it's fantastic. I read books, and it's basically an audio book, but again, takes all the meats and potatoes out of each book. Millionaire Agent,
Yeah.
okay, is one of them. The Secret is one of the books. The Secret actually changed my life forever. Before I got into real estate, when I lost everything, that's kind of what made and changed my business perspective, mentally, physically, emotionally, everything. So what you think about, you bring about. I'm a big believer in that. So if you haven't read the book, it's called The Secret, and Millionaire Agent. Frederick Eklund just produced an awesome book, The Cell. Have you read that, Mike?
Haven't yet, but that's I just got it actually 2 days ago on my Kindle app. So, and it's funny you mentioned Blinkist, because that's something I was going to dive into. I spoke on stage a while ago, and someone mentioned the same thing. So,
yeah, no, it's fantastic, and you know what? You're your own brand. You're the reflection of the business. So I preach on that a lot to my agents and my team. And with anything that you do in life, Mike, I always live by the quote of Conor McGregor, and that is, we're not here to take part, we're here to take over. And whatever you do in life, give it your best and forget the rest.
100%, man. It's another quote is, don't compete, dominate. It's, having that mentality that it's all yours for the taking. So that's fantastic, man. I'm going to link those books below so you guys can check them out. Now, the last thing, my friend, is what can we all expect from you and all the people that are going to start following you? What can we expect from you going forward?
What to expect moving forward is just me. I don't do anything a little bit different. I mean, I am who I am. You're going to notice when you follow me, you're going to see some sexy cars, sexy homes, and my lifestyle. So follow me on Instagram, Mike Marfori. The link is right there. Click it, and hope to see you guys soon. Right?
You bet, man. That's so exciting, and I'm sure people are going to, because I can't preach you enough, and I can't thank you enough for coming on, man. This is
Thank you so much for having me.
Exactly, guys. This is a true story of going from zero to the top agent, not a top agent. It's the top agent, but understanding that you still need to have that humility, and there's certain things to overcome along the way. The roadmap, there is none for us agents out here. And as you can see from Mike's story, it takes dedication, it takes time, persistence, patience, all of that. But despite the losses along the way, there's an opportunity for all of us to dominate and take over. So Mike, man, thank you so much. I know people are going to learn from this, and we will see you guys in the next episode.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Take care, guys. Cheers.
All right, everyone. So there you have it. I hope you were able to take something impactful away from this interview that you're going to be able to apply to your own life. Please comment below what your biggest takeaway was. And if you have anyone in mind that you think I should interview next,